Mixed signals. The modern language of confusion. She flirts, then goes cold. She texts first, then ignores you for days. She says she likes you, but acts like she doesn't care, and you're stuck in the middle, wondering if she's into you, or if you're just her favorite source of attention. The truth. Most men overthink mixed signals because they want clarity from someone who benefits from their confusion. Let that sink in. If she wanted you to move on, she'd make it clear. But if she enjoys your attention, your effort, your emotional investment, she'll keep you almost there. Not too close, not too far, just enough to keep you guessing. See, mixed signals are not random. They're strategy, sometimes conscious, sometimes instinctive. It's how some women test power, interest, and control. When she gives you warmth one day and distance the next, she's not always confused. She's measuring you. She wants to see if your emotions depend on her reactions. If they do, she knows she has you. But before you label her a manipulator, let's understand the psychology. Humans are drawn to uncertainty. When something is predictable, the brain loses excitement. When it's unpredictable, when there's tension, mystery, contrast, dopamine spikes. It's the same chemical pattern that makes people addicted to gambling, social media, or drama. So when she gives you affection one moment and coldness the next, your brain literally gets hooked on the roller coaster. You start chasing the high of her validation. That's why you can't stop thinking about her. Not because she's special, but because she's inconsistent. But here's where it gets deeper. Not all mixed signals mean she's playing you. Sometimes they reveal that she's insecure, afraid, or emotionally unavailable. A woman who likes you but fears rejection might flirt, then retreat. A woman who's been hurt before might crave connection but push you away when it feels too real. And some just don't know what they want. They love the attention, but not the responsibility that comes with your emotions. So how do you tell the difference? How do you know if she's genuinely confused or deliberately keeping you confused? Pay attention not to her words, but to her consistency. If she's hot and cold, but always shows effort, she likes you. She's just scared. But if she's hot and cold and gives zero effort, she's playing the game. The difference lies in investment. When someone wants you, they invest energy, time, and vulnerability. When someone just wants attention, they invest the minimum required to keep you around. Think about the last time she pulled away. Did she explain why? Did she communicate? Or did she vanish, only to come back when she sensed you were moving on? That comeback pattern, disappearing when you chase, reappearing when you detach, is the signature of someone who feeds on validation, not connection. And that's the trap. You start believing that if you just say the right thing, she'll stop being confusing. But the truth is, no amount of logic can fix emotional manipulation. You can't out-talk mixed signals. You can only outgrow them. Because here's the thing. People treat you the way you allow them to. If you keep rewarding inconsistency with attention, you teach her that she doesn't need to give clarity to keep you around. But the moment you stop chasing confusion, you force clarity. She'll either step up or step out. Let's break this down with real behavior. When she likes you, her actions might be shy or slow, but they move forward. She replies, maybe not instantly, but with warmth. She doesn't play games with your emotions. She respects your effort. You can feel the difference. It's calm, not chaotic. When she's playing you, everything feels like a test. Her attention is a reward you have to earn. You start editing your personality just to stay on her good side. You wait for her texts, overanalyze emojis, and replay every conversation in your head. That's not attraction anymore. That's emotional exhaustion disguised as hope. Here's the brutal truth. If she wanted you, you'd know. Attraction doesn't hide behind confusion. Manipulation does. If a woman is serious, she might be slow, but she won't be inconsistent. If she's inconsistent, she's keeping her options open, and you're one of them. Now, this doesn't mean you become cold or bitter. It means you become selective. You stop rewarding uncertainty with energy. You stop chasing approval and start observing patterns, because when you stop reacting, her power fades. Picture this. She sends a flirty message after ignoring you for a week. Old you would reply in seconds. The new you? You pause, you smile, you don't jump back into her rhythm. You stay in yours. And that's when the dynamic flips. Because women don't lose interest in silence, they lose control. And when they lose control, they start showing their true intentions. If she likes you, she'll match your calm. If she was just playing, she'll disappear because you're no longer feeding her ego. The silence between texts, the pauses in communication, the lack of reaction, that's where the truth lives. Mixed signals can't survive where peace exists because peace exposes inconsistency. When you're calm, her chaos has nothing to bounce off. And when she realizes you don't need her energy to function, you stop being her toy and start becoming her lesson. Now, some guys will say, but what if I lose her by pulling away? And the answer is simple. If space makes her leave, connection never existed. True attraction doesn't fade when you stop chasing. It deepens when both sides contribute. If you stepping back makes her disappear, she was never walking toward you in the first place. So stop decoding mixed signals like a mystery you need to solve. You're not a detective. You're the prize. Your time, your energy, your focus, they are limited. And the woman who deserves them won't keep you guessing. Let me tell you something powerful. The moment you stop chasing uncertainty, your life gets quieter, but better. You start attracting people who match your peace instead of testing it. You stop craving validation and start valuing clarity. Because love without clarity isn't love, it's control. Mixed signals lose their power the moment you no longer need an answer. When you're grounded in self-worth, you don't chase explanations. You recognize patterns and walk away. You don't beg for honesty. You become someone who attracts it naturally. And ironically, that's when the same people who played with your time start realizing what they lost. They'll say things like, "You've changed," or "You're different now." But you didn't change. You evolved. You stopped being addicted to confusion. You stopped mistaking anxiety for love. You stopped translating chaos into chemistry. And here's the final twist. Once you master this, you'll start noticing how rare real energy is. Most people today confuse attention for affection. But when you stop feeding into mixed signals, you create room for something real, something peaceful, something honest. So the next time you feel confused by her actions, remember this. If you have to ask, she's already answered. Her silence, her inconsistency, her hesitation, those are answers. And the strongest response you can give is calm indifference. Because when you stop chasing clarity from chaos, you become clarity itself. And nothing, no mixed signal, no silence, no manipulation, can pull you back into confusion again. If you want to keep growing and mastering the power of masculine energy, subscribe now. Hit that like button if you believe silence speaks louder than any message.